Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends and neighbors, welcome once again to Monster Movie Fun Time Go. I am one of your hosts, Honey Bee. Oh, God damn it.
Why do you keep doing that?
I don't know. I don't know. We're going to put that blooper.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny. Oh, I love it so much. Oh, shit.
1, 2, 3, 4. Monster movie.
Fun time, go! Monster movie!
Fun time, go. Monster
Movie!
fun time.
Go!
Monster movie. Fun time, go.
With Precious D and Honeybee.
Fun time, go!
Hey, everybody, I'm Precious D. That's Honey Bee. We have the giggles today because I keep saying the wrong name. Welcome to the show. Say hi to your folks, Honey Bee.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome to the show. We're happy you're here.
Judas Priest. Today we're talking about Godzilla vs. Gigan, also known as Godzilla on Monster Island, which is not a very good title because it's all about him leaving Monster Island.
Yeah.
Most of it does not take place on Monster Island. It's from 1972 in color, 89 minutes, directed by Jun Fukada, because Tanaka was so pissed off at our boy Yoshimitsu Banno after the last movie, Godzilla vs. Hedorah.
I loved it, Yoshimitsu.
Yes, he said, "Fuck that noise! Get Fukada back in here," because Ashiro Honda had resigned or retired, but
Abruptly.
Fukada had directed some of these movies. He directed Ebera. He directs 5 entries total. I'm not sure if this is his second one or what. I don't care. Just don't care. Music is by Akira Ifukube, sorta.
Well, really? Because it kind of sucked.
Music is by recordings of Akira Ifukube's previous soundtracks. There's no new material. This movie was done on the cheap, so they did not commission any new soundtrack. They just reused a bunch of old shit. After the interesting, innovative, out there soundtrack from the last movie, they said, nope.
That was so good.
Get me that Ifukube. We like Akira Ifukube, but
Totally.
they're just reusing old shit here. It's not,
Yeah, this is
Right.
like another, like a clip show, but the Godzilla version.
Yeah,
With
it's
music and a few little things.
There's a couple shots that I think we've seen before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The budget was $1.2 million. It says, not yen. The box office was $20 million.
Heyo.
So pretty profitable. As we said last week, it actually made less total money than Godzilla vs. Hedorah, but it cost less to make, so the profit margin was bigger. The featured monsters are Godzilla, Gigan, Anguirus, and King Ghidorah. Monster size, I just wrote standard because I think they're all old suits. They haven't changed. They haven't changed size from It's the suits we've seen them all before. The death count is 114, but that includes Godzilla Tower.
Why?
I don't know. I saw 2 different death count lists. One only said 78, the other said 114, but they both included Godzilla Tower in the kill count, because Godzilla does destroy it at the end.
Yeah, sure, but it doesn't have like a...
It was not a sentient tower. It stars Hiroshi Ishikawa as Gengo Kotaka, Tomoko Umeda as Michiko Shima, Yuriko Hishima as Tomoko Tome. Just why didn't they have Tomoko play Tomoko? I don't know. Minoru, that must have been confusing on set. Minoru Takashima as Shosaki Takasugi. Zan Fujita as Fumiya Sudo, chairman of the Children's Land. Toshikai Nishizawa as Kubota, director of Children's. Kunio Murai as Kashishima. Gen Shimizu as the commander of defense forces. Kuniko Ashihara as Mrs. Fudo. Zenko Nakamura as the priest. Akio Muto as Kodohisa. Haru Nakajima as Godzilla. Final performance as Godzilla.
Aww.
Kenpachiro Satsuma as Gigan. He will eventually play Godzilla, but not immediately.
Nice.
Kotsu Omiya as Anguirus and Kanta Ina as King Ghidorah.
Fuck yeah. I thought it was really strange that we have like a children's land or like a children's island, but no Panchito.
Yeah, there's no actual kids in this movie.
That was random. I was like, okay, that's weird.
Yeah. The opening credits to this movie are shapes over a control room with some music. I guess it's the control room at the tower. I don't know. This movie, fuck this movie.
Same. Oh my gosh. Wow. I
This movie
not completely, but
no,
from the last one to this one, like, yeah, totally. Yeah. This movie.
It made no goddamn sense. But also, it's just, I mean, I enjoy these movies, but after the last one, then we just do this hard reset to go, nope, we're going to do exactly what we've been doing. Do all the shit that we've already seen before. We're going to have aliens infiltrating human society and trying to control kaiju to destroy that society so the aliens can move in. Seen it, done it, been there, bought the t-shirt.
Please, don't misuse science.
God damn it. Then we cut to some comic book drawings and a bunch of noises being made over the drawings, and this guy Gengo is trying to
excuse me. Sorry. Gengo.
Gengo is trying to sell his art and his ideas to an editor of comic books.
Did you see that he was sketching fish people? Like the people with fish heads? I was like, wait, what? He's literally sketching a person with a fish head, and I was like so hopeful that like the last movie was going to have some like sort of influence because of that. Right. Yeah, and negative, nothing. That was the only thing.
It might have just been a coincidence. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess so.
Now we haven't given like a sexism rating or a down in a while. For a while we've been seeing people kind of firmly in their gender roles, but we do mix it up a little bit in this one. It is 1972. In that Gengo is a little bit of he faints at one point.
Aw, he's an artist.
Meanwhile, Tomoko is a black belt in karate and kicks quite a bit of ass.
Yeah, she does.
Later in the film,
she much ass.
She disappears for a while, but then she comes back.
Just ass kicking ass.
This guy, so Gengo is trying to get this guy to buy his stuff, and apparently he has to sell him the whole idea. He's not just asking to be hired as an artist. This might be how it works with manga. I don't know in Japan. He's not just trying to get employed by the comic book company. He wants him to buy the story and the idea and the characters. And he has created a homework monster because your survey A survey. The thing that kids hate the most is homework. So therefore, a homework monster is a thing they're going to want to read about. Later, he mentions the strict mother monster. The editor rightly tells him his ideas are shit and to get the fuck out. So,
to put it lightly.
Yeah. And then he goes and meets with his employment agent, girlfriend.
Is that what she is?
Person he knows.
Girlfriend?
It's not clear if they have any sort of personal relationship, but he goes to have lunch with this pretty lady, Tomoko, who is like, oh, and after I worked so hard to get you the interview, but here I got something else for you. And he's like, all right, what am I doing this time? Digging ditches? I'm like, oh, she's not his art agent. She's just his employment agent. She just trying to get him any kind of job.
Fish gotta swim, bird gotta eat.
Yeah. She's got an interview set up at this building over there near the Godzilla Tower where they're building that park. Go meet with this guy at the Peace theme park.
Yeesh.
So he goes and has a job interview at an amusement park with a kaiju theme where they've built a giant Godzilla tower. It's a big replica of Godzilla with an elevator that goes up it. And the guy's got a model in front of him of what the rest of the park's going to be. And he's talking about they're going to have exhibits for... Does he say monsters past, present, and future?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like how are you going to have an exhibit on future kaiju? What... So it's not clear exactly. He wants to hire him, but to do what exactly is a little unclear. Just some kind of art design work, maybe. And the theme of the park, the goal of making this park, which is called Children's Land, is to teach and achieve the goal of absolute peace.
Annoying. I think there's just way too much people bullshit in this movie.
Yeah.
Not enough monster.
But the way he describes it makes Gengo suspicious. He's like, what does he mean by absolute peace? What is that? What the fuck does it just sounds a little what what are you gonna do? Yeah. Yeah, peace is a noble goal, but he keeps saying, no, not just peace, absolute peace. And I'm like, okay, what does that mean? But he won't explain what it means. But he also says that after we go do these exhibits and things and the monsters and whatever, then we're going to destroy Monster Island. And he's like, wait, what? And here's where we get some clips of Monster Island.
We get a little clip show, which I kind of felt like the clip show kind of made like Godzilla Tower and the whole thing make a little more sense. 'Cause I'm like, okay, well they like know, but it's so stupid.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand. This ends up not making any sense later though. Any of this. Mm-hmm. It doesn't seem to have anything to do with their plan. Their ultimate. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, totally. It's just like people like people's storyline. It's awkward.
Yeah. As they begin to uncover what the plan is, the front for the plan begins to make no sense. Why was any of this necessary to achieve their goal? It just Anyway, I guess we cut to later, right? He's coming back later. He's coming back into the building like he's starting work the next day, and this woman comes running out and bumps into him and drops something. And he stops him. He picks it up. He's like, "Hey, you dropped something," but she can't. She keeps going.
And she's just like, "Ah!" She's like very frazzled, like she's running from something almost.
Yeah. And the director, who we saw him at the job interview, comes running out with a couple of goons, and they're like, "Which way did she go? Which way did she go?" And he lies, and he hides what she dropped is a tape, a reel from a reel-to-reel tape recording, old-fashioned stuff. Kids, look it up.
It took me a minute to understand this. I did not know what it was.
Did you?
I didn't.
Once you realize, did you understand the recording technology? Have you seen it in other?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. I just don't know that, younger people, if they have any idea what they've never seen one in person, but they may have seen old movies that have
in movies, yeah,
or new movies set in. Anyway, it's a tape from a reel-to-reel tape recorder. He hides it, goes into work. He points them in the wrong direction, and it turns out that this is the Action 2 tape. And he says that she's got the Action 2 tape. That girl is an enemy to peace. Later, I guess on his after work, does he meet the chairman? Right after this, he goes in and he meets the chairman, right?
Yeah.
My notes are not as thorough.
I'm like
this movie.
At my notes right now.
I think he goes into and there's some weird shit with him in a room. He's being watched by a camera and he's playing.
Yeah, and the camera's like following him around.
Yeah, and then the phone rings. He picks it up. And he's like, "Get in here." And he meets the chairman, who seems way too young to be a chairman, and his suit is way too orange for a human being to be. This is our first hint that the chairman is just straight up fucking alien, because no human being who isn't Steve Harvey is going to wear this fucking suit.
Oh my God.
I don't care if it's 1972. This is not human clothing.
Oh my! Except for Steve Harvey's.
Yeah. So he talks to the chairman and he hears some more about absolute peace in this sense, and then as he leaves earlier, the girl that he ran to earlier and her hippie friend try to mug him and take the tape
with a corn cob.
The guy sticks a hard object into his back and tells him, "Give him the tape," but it's not a gun, it's just a corn cob. But this dumbass fakes.
I like cone.
Come on, it's got the juice. I've never seen anything so beautiful. You can use it as a gun.
It's cone.
Corn kid, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh man, me and my friend had a really funny conversation about that the other day, where she was like, "Well, what's gonna happen when he's not corn kid and he's fucking corn man?"
I don't know, but he's just so delightfully enthusiastic.
So delightful.
It's wonderful. Look it up, older people listening to this podcast. I don't watch TikTok. I watch them as Instagram reels the week later like an adult. Anyway, he passes out because he thinks he's being held up with a gun and wakes up back at their apartment, her apartment, the hippie's apartment.
I don't know.
This, we do see this in a lot of these movies where the heroes, such as they are, just start hanging out at somebody's apartment or hotel room or something, and it starts to become a little unclear of whose space this actually is, because everybody's just there all the time.
Like, where the fuck are we?
So they take them back to their place, but yeah, it's not clear if living together or this is the girl's apartment or what the hell's going on. But we find out that her brother is missing. He was working for that company and he's been missing for 2 weeks, and he was acting weird, and she stole that tape because she thought it would give her a clue.
And she read his diary.
Yeah. And
the diary said that he had discovered something dreadful. He had made a dreadful discovery about children's... is it island or land?
Children's land.
Land, okay.
Children's land. Like, Disneyland or Dollyland.
Mm-hmm.
Knott's Berry Farm. And Children's Land is an enemy to peace, he wrote in his diary. And he says, I don't have the tape. It's in a locker, like at the bus station or the train station or something. This was also a thing that doesn't happen anymore that you used to be able to do. I don't know if these even exist anymore. Maybe they do.
I don't think so.
You used to be able to just rent a locker in public places like bus stations, train stations.
Bowling alleys.
Yeah. Things like
I only know that because I saw a movie where these people like robbed like a guy and then hid all the money in a bowling alley locker.
Right. So you could take the key with you and come back sometime later. Hide your tape, your microfilm, your ill-gotten gains there, and come back later. So that's where it is. And the chairman and director are aliens, I wrote.
Yep.
So they go get the tape, they bring it back, they play it. It's just making weird noise. It doesn't have talking on it. It doesn't have the information they were thinking it had. It's just making weird noise. But miles away on Monster Island, Godzilla and Anguirus can hear it.
And they have... tell us what else they do, please.
You can tell them.
I just can't decide if I love this or if at this point in the movie, I wasn't sure if I love this or hate this, but they start talking to each other in kind of like zippy rewind noises.
They have a conversation, yes.
I like when the monsters communicate with body language and like roar at each other, but this is kind of weird.
So in the Japanese version, they make some noises and some comic book speech bubbles pop up, which I guess plays into our theme of, or not theme, but the motif of the comic book artist. In the American dub, there's the same sort of weird growling. There's the noise that they're making, but then they just dub over a sort of a growly, "Hey, Anguirus, go find out what's going on."
Oh no, you're joking me.
No, and you can barely understand it. Because they've tried to,
that would have been so much worse.
Because they've tried to mix it in and make it sound like it's part of the noise. It's just, you can barely tell what he's saying.
No.
So, yeah, it might have been better if they'd just done the speech bowls. Anyway, Godzilla orders Anguirus. They're all friends on Monster Island now. But Godzilla's the boss. And he says, "Hey, Anguirus, something's up. Go find out what it is. Go check it out."
Go check out what's... And then he's like, "Hurry." Like, damn, son.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
yeah,
it's weird. It's weird.
It's weird.
So yeah, Godzilla's just issuing orders to the other kaiju. And they follow them. Because he's the king of the monsters. So Anguirus goes to go check it out, but as he gets close to shore, the defense force doesn't know he's just coming to check stuff out, so they shoot a bunch of stuff at him and drive him away. Meanwhile, what's his name? Gengo at work Gengo finds the missing brother's lighter, and then everybody eats bananas. He goes back to the apartment where we're all gonna just hang out now and has a conversation. There's a bowl of bananas. Picks one up and eats one, and hands one to the girl, and then the hippie guy picks one up, and they all just have a little banana snack while they're... I mean, when you're acting, you need a little bit of business. You need something to do, so you look natural and whatever. But I just thought it was weird, like, oh, we're all going to have a banana now? Okay.
All of us? Every single one of us?
It's a banana party. Okay. If I'm having a banana, everybody's having a banana. So they decide to check into the back to do a background check on the company, the chairman, and the director, because they're like, well, look, we're doing an investigation now, right? So maybe we should actually investigate, and that might give us some clue as to what the fuck's going on. And then what did I write here? Anguirus arriving. So Anguirus arrives and gets
He
driven.
arrives at the bay. But even before this, before Anguirus arrives, we get this Fumio. Is it Fumio's? There's a part here where like Fumio, they're like the three of them like figure something out about this Fumio, and then he like died a year ago. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, that's coming up in a minute. So we see them all we see them all go doing their research. As Anguirus arrives and gets driven back, we see them all going to do checks, find out what they can find out. And then they come back and report. And they find out that Children's Land is run by the International Children's Federation, a nonprofit based in Switzerland. They find out the director, Mr. Kabuto, is Japanese, born in Yamano. So each of them found out one thing. One went to investigate the company, one went to investigate one of the guys, and the third went to investigate the last guy. So then the hippie says, "Oh, Yamano, the chairman was also. I found out the chairman was also born in Yamano. He's 17 years old. Is it just a coincidence?" And yeah, I wrote down Fumio Sudo. That's his name. The chairman's name. You find out the chairman's name is Fumio Sudo, and he's only 17, which they thought he was suspiciously young, chairman of a major company. So they go to the town, the little village that they're both from, to see what they can find out. And that's when they discover that they both died a year ago climbing Mount Ikari. They're like exactly a year ago. They're having
to the day. It's his anniversary.
And they come. Oh, is what's his name here? Do you know anything about him? Like, what are you talking about? Dead. And can we see a picture? And the lady shows him a picture, and the picture has the two of them together. They go to the address they have, and find the memorial going on, or preparations for them. And they see a picture, and they see the chairman and the director together, and find out they both died together climbing this a year ago. So then, the JDF rolls out as Anguirus approaches. So he's still it takes Anguirus a while to get there. I kept thinking he got there. It takes a while. And I wrote, same old music. That same old JDF rolling out.
Yep, I wrote, man, this music sucks. I don't know why I liked it. I like the music usually, but I guess like going from the last movie to this one, I was like, why? The music really is just like not that great in this one.
Well, I mean, it is. It's just we've heard it over and over again at this.
Yeah.
It was great the first time we heard it, but now it's getting old. You need to pay for some new music. But it turns out this movie still has an anti-pollution message, just a much more subdued one that's just sort of an afterthought. It turns out this is when my notes start getting sparser and sparser as we go. So I think I'm going to now cut to the Wikipedia summary. The thing is, the Wikipedia summary just jumped ahead too much. And just start straight with giant insectoid aliens resembling cockroaches from the dying planet M Space Hunter Nebula plot to colonize the Earth.
Yet.
Yeah, it just starts out with the reveal in the summary.
No. Well, I understand why you didn't use it. Thank you, Wikipedia, but boo.
Yeah, so basically we find out as they explain their evil plan that the dominant life form from their planet polluted it and destroyed it and killed them. They all died off, and we survived. And now we've come to this planet to look for something more inhabitable. And we found that you're doing the same thing. So we're going to use these kaiju to destroy you, so that, which I guess will create absolute peace. And then we can move in. and take over, and we're wearing these human bodies as uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
Only this. Well, at some point I switched over to the dubbed version of my Blu-ray because I wanted to try to do something while I was watching the movie. I wanted to fold some clothes. I just got so I'm just like I gotta use some money. I gotta fold. I can't read these subtitles. I got. Let me just get on my Blu-ray that's got both versions. I mentioned this because they kept saying uniform instead of uniforms. These bodies are a form of uniform. Like uniform, yes, uniform. And I'm like, that's not. That's not how you say it. That's not how you do it. Anyway, they're basically wearing the bodies as suits, as disguises. And when the lights go off and change at some point, the shadows that the bodies cast are shadows of cockroaches, and that's how we get a glimpse of the real form. And I'm like, that doesn't make any goddamn sense.
I loved that. I loved that the shadows were cockroaches, and I loved that. I thought it was really funny.
Oh, I just thought it was stupid because that's just not how shadows work.
Oh, Poosha.
It seemed like a supernatural thing, and that's not what's happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Like they were ghosts or something, or like a vampire not seeing his reflection or something. No, the creature's true form will be revealed in his shadow because of magic.
Maybe that's an alien. Maybe that's an alien thing.
I don't
like alien. You can't.
Light still. If their light still bounces off of solid objects in the shape of the object, it doesn't conform itself to reveal the true nature of what's inside of the object. I know I'm applying basic physics and science to this movie about giant monsters and bug people from outer space. The thing is, for the big stupid things to be believable, the little things have to. It just breaks my willing suspension to disbelief. Do something that dumb. Anyway, Anguirus reports back to Monster Island, and Godzilla follows it back to Japan to save the Earth from Gigan and King Ghidorah. So it turns out these two tapes, they have two action tapes. One of them will summon the monster, allow them to summon the monsters, and the other will allow them to control the monsters. Without the second action tape, they can't control the monsters, and that's why they needed it back. So everybody gets captured. They play the tapes. They summon the two monsters, King Ghidorah and the new monster, Gigan. Honeybee, tell us what Gigan looks like.
He looks like a fucking space chicken! Why do they keep doing this to us?
A one-eyed space chicken with mandibles and a buzzsaw belly.
I do like the buzzsaw belly, but I was just like, I even wrote in the notes, like, I know I say this every time, but, like, why? He is very chickeny. And I was happy. Yeah, he does have hooks. I was happy to see Ghidorah because it's like, all right, space turkey, yeah, and he looks really good this movie. Like his individual heads move, and like he looks great. But then I saw fucking Gigan, and I was like, God, why were chickens so scary to people? I guess you like the dinosaur thing, but he does very much look like a chicken. He looks less like a chicken as the movie goes on, and you get to see his like hooks and his like weird hoof, one toe hoof thing. But yeah, it's very chickeny.
Yes, he got a big old beak, but kind of a horn in his head, hooks for hands, and then two or three fins on his back that aren't really wings, but he does fly. He does just come flying in from outer space as he's summoned with this tape recording that apparently the sound from it can travel quite far.
Also, I don't know if this is a thing, but I feel like, do they use a different suit when Godzilla is in the water and when he's on land? Because there's a few part in this movie where we see Gojira in the water, and he just looks fucking derpy. Like, his face looks different. For some reason, he looks more derpy than in the last film. And then even in this film, whenever he's on the land, he just looks... Like, his face just looks like a little... Like, shaped a little weird. And his eyes look a little bit, like, closer together when he's in the water, I noticed. And I was like, well, maybe it's just because of, like, he has to wear a specific suit in the water? I'm not sure. But I really hated that.
I think it's the same suit.
I don't know. Maybe it just like folds weird in the water or something because he just looks so dumb.
It does say here that in order to cut costs, the film relies heavily on stock footage from previous films. Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, Invasion of Astro Monster, and War of the Gargantua was destroy all monsters. For Godzilla and King Ghidorah's fighting time, I did not notice. I noticed when we show the shots of them on Monster Island, those were reused.
For
but
sure.
I did not realize that some of the actual fighting was just reused.
I didn't either. They must have done a very good job. I usually don't notice it anyway. You usually do, but yeah, I didn't notice. I thought he looked a lot different. The three-headed space turkey still sounds like a turkey.
Now I think the belly buzzsaw, though, to me is like, how does that work? It was super cool, though. Is he an actual creature, or is he some kind of construct? Because if he's a cyborg of some kind, then I can understand how he has a buzz.
He might be a cyborg, because even his one eyeball, like his Cyclops eyeball.
Doesn't look natural. Yeah.
No, it looks very, like computer-y or something.
It does not look natural. It looks like an image. But who knows? We don't know anything about him. We just know that they're able to summon brand new monster. They tell us nothing about him. These cockroach guys have summoned.
Yeah, they just show up and pledge their allegiance to the cockroach space guys and start like fucking shit up, which is really all Ghidorah is for, anyways, destruction. So now he's just got a friend.
Now there is an interesting kind of ridiculous, crazy escape scene, sort of. So 3 of the people are trapped, taken captive. They figure out the brother's being held in Godzilla Tower. So the artist and his agent go to rescue him and get captured. And they're all up there together. And so the sister and her hippie friend come to rescue them and like flash a little lights, and they see it. So they respond with lighting a cigarette to let them know that they've seen it. So then I don't know where they got all this shit, but sister and hippie boy get like a weather balloon, fill it up with helium, tie a string to it, tie a string to a rope, and let it rise up to the top of the tower while the aliens aren't looking. I can't remember. I don't think the monsters are actually fighting at this point. The guys in the tower grab the rope, tie it off. Then the other 2 run away for a bit of a distance, and they zip line down the rope. And they have these very professional look. It's not the kind of thing where they take off their belt and use that to zip line down. They've got these purpose-built handles, very professional looking, that are attached to the rope that each of them just grabs and zips down. But when they actually zip down, we cut to the model of Godzilla Tower and little toys just going down the zip line. Little doll.
Love.
I figured. I'm like, Honeybee loving this part.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, you know it.
And it's like a kid with his G.I. Joes and his big gym toys. Kind of thing I would have done with my toys. So they escape. The balloon pops though, so the bad guys here, but they don't get there in time to stop them.
And then we get some more Gojira and Angie talking again, which I decided in this moment that I didn't like it. I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah. So they show up and they all start fighting. The aliens attempt to kill Godzilla with a lethal laser cannon hidden inside of Godzilla Tower. But Gengo and his companions use the aliens' over-reliance on technology against them, forcing the invaders to unwittingly destroy themselves. Well, that's a bit of a glossing over the details.
A jump.
Yeah. So what they do, this is just more stupidity. It's weird. At some point, they've communicated with the Defense Force about what's going on. So they get a bunch of boxes of TNT. Like some of the army guys drive up with, and it's Philo nonsense. At this point, the army should have said, all right, we'll take it for what? There's aliens in that tower? Well, we completely believe you, and we'll take it over from here. But instead they say, there's aliens in that tower. We completely believe you. Come with us while we plant TNT. Yeah. They're kind of like, what do you want to do about it? Well, you got any TNT? Yes, we do. They load up a bunch of boxes of TNT into the elevator. And at some point, Gengo has apparently stopped, gotten some big roll of butcher paper, and drawn life-size black and white line drawings of the clowns, the four of them, with guns. And they roll this drawing out on top of the TNT, facing the door of the elevator. So that when the elevator reaches the top and opens, the guards see a drawing of four people with guns, apparently immediately believe that they are four people with guns, and open fire, thus detonating the TNT. Instead of, why didn't we just put a detonator with a timer on it? No, wait. Let me take 2 hours to make this very elaborate drawing first. It's just so goddamn stupid. It's the kind of thing that I would expect to see in one of those Abrams Zucker, Leslie Nielsen, something that's supposed to be so stupid that it's funny, instead of something that's just stupid.
Damn.
But it works, and so the tower catches on fire and starts, it explodes and kills the bad guys. So the bad guys are laying there under.
They're actual cockroaches now.
Yes, they start phasing. This is so weird too, because were they cockroaches inside of the human suit? No, they just seem to have shape-shifted into the humans. And they're now shifting back into their cockroach form, but they're giant cockroaches. They're not cockroach size. And they're laying there going, the chairman's laying there going, what's his name? Kubato. Chairman's laying there going, Kubato. He's not calling him by his real cockroach name. He's using him by his fake human name. He's like,
his human name?
We were so close. It almost worked. And Kubato lays there like, oh, I know. Terrible. Goodbye, cruel world.
Jeez.
And they die. The monsters are fighting. There's one point though that the monsters are fighting and the music's playing. And then it cuts to one of the main characters. It cuts to one of the main characters, the hippie, I think. I'm not sure. But they're doing stuff. They're doing their escape plan, or we're planting bombs. They're doing some shit. And you can still hear the music playing faintly now, as if it's actually playing on the battlefield of the monsters a few hundred yards away. And you can still hear. I'm like, what is happening with the music? It got quiet, but it's actually playing in the distance? Is that what the movie's trying to tell me right now? It was just so weird. Anyway, the good monsters win. The bad ones just fly away. I think part of what happens not just that they've won, but because they've destroyed the equipment, the tape has stopped playing. So they're no longer under control. They're no longer being compelled to fight.
Mm.
Nobody says this out loud, but I think that's part of what's happening. So the control is broken. They've been beaten, but also the control's broken. So they just fly away to fight another day.
I do want to say though that Gigan and or Gigan and Ghidorah, they talk shit to Godzilla and Anguirus with no subtitles, and we understand what's happening. Like during the fight, like we understand that they're like talking shit to each other and like fighting, and like Godzilla does this like motion, like a suck it motion, and then like there's just like we understand, and like there's no subtitles. We don't, and I just really want to put it out there because I just felt like the subtitles and the conversation between Godzilla and Anguirus were so unnecessary. I don't understand why that happened. Why are they the only two monsters that are like having this conversation? And why don't the bad guys like communicate in the same way? And it was just weird. But there was this moment during the fight where all the monsters were like communicating with each other, and there were like no bubbles and no words. And I was like, see, it's fine. We don't need that shit. They
could have gotten the point across without the speech bubbles.
I mean, in any movie we've seen before this, there are no speech bubbles for the monsters, and we get it.
But remember,
it was just weird.
We did have the Shibagen. The fairies did translate for Mothra.
Oh, that's true. But telepathically, though, she talks telepathically, and even in the last movie,
because I remember in Mothra her making a lot of squeaking noise. Mothra is saying whatever.
Yeah, but they explain to the people that they understand her because it's like a telepathic connection or whatever.
They do, yes, you're right. They do say that. Anyway, there's a point though when Godzilla comes into the park and sees Godzilla Tower, and there should have been a speech bubble of him saying, "What the fuck is this?" He's kind of like, how very dare you? And then destroys it. Just unleashes on this fucking tower. He's like, this is not okay.
What the fuck is this?
I did not license this. I did not approve this use of my image. Tearing this shit down.
I felt like this was a moment when you like put your dog in front of the mirror and you like, that's you! And the dog's just like, fuck you, you know?
There does seem like a brief moment. It does seem like a brief moment where Godzilla's like, wait, is this another monster? And he's like, what the hell? No, this is just some... God damn it.
Oh, that's funny.
And I don't know if there was also an element of, it's been making that. But yeah, he's not having it. He's not having it.
Oh, shit.
But it does shoot lasers at him at some point, and but he tears it up. And then he and Anguirus swim back to Monster Island, but not before Godzilla turns around and gives a roar of triumph in thanks
Sayonara!
to the human friends.
Sayonara. Sayonara. I thought the music at the end, like some weird Western music.
I mean, it was some of the music that they reused it's all Ifukube, but I think some of it is not Godzilla's stuff.
Yeah, agreed.
Let's see. The majority of the film's soundtrack consists of recycled cues from previous Toho films, such as Frankenstein Conquers the World, Atragon, King Kong Escapes, Battle in Outer Space, and several other Godzilla films. So yeah, some of those a lot of those are not actually Godzilla movies. Akira Ifukube, who composed the music for those films, receives credit in the film. In addition to these stock tracks, several themes composed by Ifukube for the Mitsubishi Pavilion at Expo 70, which we saw in a Gamera movie are used throughout the movie. A new song called Godzilla March, sung by Susumu Ishikawa and composed by Kunio Miyauchi, plays at the end of the film. Ishikawa also performed 2 more new songs, Go Go Godzilla and Defeat Gigan, that were released on the soundtrack album. So they were not in the movie, they were just on. That's that music from and inspired by bullshit that they pull sometimes with soundtracks. Oh, mother. Honeybee, what do you rate Godzilla versus Gigan?
Oh man, I think I can't decide between a 3 or a 4, and I'll tell you what the good thing, what brings the rating up for me. I think I'm gonna go 4, and the things that give it a 4 for me is the badass, kick-ass chick who like kicks people's ass, like she beats up people. Love that, like the bad people, not just random people. I love that, and then I also really loved that we got like Ghidorah and Gearus in this movie, because I didn't think that it was strange that there was like 4 monsters and only like Godzilla versus Gigan. But I was really happy to see Ghidorah, and I did like the new monster. I liked the saw belly, and so there were things I did like about it. I thought there was way too much people bullshit in this one, like the storyline, just like shut up. Who cares? Give us the monsters. Like, for fuck's sakes. But I did, so I guess I'm gonna go for, like a soft 4, a hard 3. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and mostly because of the last one was so good. And then going from that one to this one was like, oh, bummer. But then there were things in this one that were really cool. Like the kick-ass chick. And seeing Ghidorah, I'm a fan of Ghidorah a little bit, so yeah.
I think I'm gonna give it a 2. I think I have to say I didn't like it.
Oh, damn!
I did watch it. You know, maybe I'd give it a higher rating if I watched it in the same day that I watched Godzilla versus Hydra. But to me, I was just like, oh, god damn it, this shit again. I just, this was fine the last 3 or 4 times I saw it, but now I'm just tired of it. Just do something new for God's sake. So
for Godzilla's sake.
Yes. I and the overuse of pre-existing footage and music just made it seem lazy and cheap, which is what it was. And just so much of a fuck you to Bano, and like nope, going back to formula, gonna pull out that formula and just beat it into the ground. So yeah, I think I'm gonna give it a 2.
Damn.
Not happy.
Well, that makes me feel better about my 3, my hard 3, soft 4.
So,
we did watch another short on this too, though.
Thank you for bringing
from like a month ago.
Same situation. 20th anniversary of this movie. They had a short film which premiered at G-Fest, and it is up on the Godzilla channel on YouTube. It is called
looks so fucking cool.
Godzilla versus Gigan Rex. Tell us a little bit about it, Honeybee.
Well, let me just say, look at Gojira. Damn, son. He's so buff in this one. He's so buff and teethy. Very, very hot. I don't really like buff men, but I like buff kaijus, you know? I was just like, oof, okay. God, oh my Godzilla. And then Gigan looks pretty good too. He's a little more colorful than I would imagine him or like him to be. Or all of them, I guess, like all the colors. It was a little colorful as far as like bad guy goes, I felt like. But yeah, the music, the piano music during the fight, the Gigan having the whip, okay, the whip and the spin. I was like, damn. So many good angles during the fight. Love the saw belly. The saw belly was crazy in this one.
Yeah.
Because
So
it came out like
yeah. It's also computer generated. And at this point, Gigan is kind of like Rodan in that there are multiple Gigans.
Yeah.
And he and it's also there's no real plot. It's just a fight. Gigan
Just a
shows
fight,
up
which
like
is
Godzilla shows. I mean, it's like
so
6
good.
minutes. It's 6
so
minutes
good.
long. It's
It made me like the movie more. That's for sure. The short was 5 stars. 5 stars for the short, for sure. It was so good.
Yeah.
But there's no people bullshit, and that's like really
right.
what was wrong with the movie, in my opinion.
So a bunch of Gigans are attacking her. Godzilla shows up to fight them, and then
oh god, he's so hot in this short. I was like, damn.
And they're shooting their buzzsaws come out of their bellies and start flying, cutting things up, and then I think Godzilla beats all of them, and then King Gigan shows, and he's a little bit bigger and has more tricks than regular Gigan had.
He has a whip.
Yes, he has this crazy whip. 2 of them. This is also, I should mention, this is the first Godzilla movie, not the short, the full, where Godzilla draws blood. And
oh yeah, his head gets split open.
Him. He draws blood, and blood is drawn from him. And it's red. None of this purple green bullshit from Gamera.
Yeah, my jaw was on the ground when that happened. When Gigan split his head, I was like, holy shit. But he gets right back up. Not in my house, son. Gigan tries to fly off, and he's like, get the fuck over here. It's
the first film in which Godzilla actually drew blood, but then it describes it, and it just seems like he's the one getting cut up. I don't know that he's doing any cut. Gigan flies past Godzilla and swipes at his shoulder, and later when Gigan repeatedly strikes severely weakened Godzilla in the forehead. Also, Anguirus is cut in the snout by Gigan at one point, consequently bleeding towards the camera. So, I also want to mention Gigan and his other appearances. There's not a lot of them. He appears in Godzilla vs. Megalon, which will be the next Godzilla film. 70. And then we don't see him again until Godzilla Final Wars. That one comes up a lot. Godzilla Final Wars has everybody, almost everybody.
Nice.
I think at the time there was some idea of like, this is going to be the last one. Let's pull out all the stops. So freaking everything is in it. He does appear on TV in Zone Fighter and in Godzilla Island.
Oh.
And then in a bunch of video games and shit.
Hell yeah.
So, there you go.
Please go watch the short because it's on YouTube and like it's only 5 minutes long. So, yeah, go watch it because it's dope and meow. Godzilla.
Next week, folks, we are going to be coming back across the ocean to the United States. Night of the Lepus. Lepus is Latin for rabbit. Is the Latin name
shit
of the rabbit species.
Bunny.
It's a 1972 movie. You can watch that on Plex. Plex is a thing where you can kind of have a server to show your own movies, but they also show some of their stuff. They have stuff that they show. You can use it to create a server on your own computer so you can access your material from other computers or from your phone or that. But it is also a thing that they also have content that anybody can watch. So you can watch your own content yourself or you can watch Plex content. And that appears to be the only place that I could find where Night of the Lepus is streamed. So that's what we'll be doing next week. Until then, I have been Precious D.
Okay, I wasn't sure what you were going to say. And I have been Honey Bee.
Remember to keep calm and seek shelter in basements.
And please don't misuse science.
We won't see you, but you will hear us next time on Monster Movie Fun Time Go.
Yeah.
You've been listening to Monster Movie Fun Time Go. If you enjoyed the show, please rate and review us on your podcasting platform of choice. Our theme song is by the Texicano Folk Rock Punk featuring Lita Lopez. You can support the show, find links to our social media, and even leave us a voice message at anchor.fm/MMFTG.
Fun time go!